Okay, then continuing this theme of trust and continual awareness of God, and the reliability in all circumstances of bringing consciousness of God into the situation, because that will change it, obviously for the better. As we do in the dream, if I can think of God in the dream, then the dream starts to pan out according to what I'm thinking. And reality is the same thing. If I think of God in reality, if I choose to, then this affects what the reality is that I have. I think that's why the secular, they haven't had the experience of thinking in terms of God, so they can't imagine it changing reality, so they don't do it. You know, it's a foolish option. I mean, why would one want to do that? They don't see the connection between, if you think of God, reality becomes different. Whereas perhaps if one suggested to them that reality is only a consequence of what you're thinking, it is what you're thinking that starts to affect reality, just as if you think to have a cup of tea, within a few minutes you're up making a cup of tea, assuming the options are there, the opportunities. Now, what made me come back to having another think of this recording that comes just before us is that our habits are us. And I've thought in the past that our values are us. But then it occurs to me that our habits are indication of what our values are, because we're in the habit of doing a certain thing because of our values. So our habits are evidence of what our values are. So you're going to school yourself such that you're in the habit of trusting God, not only when times are very good and very bad, crises and so on, but where you need to do it immediately. In the dream, you want to fend off whatever the badness of the dream is bringing, don't you? And in real life, that too, you might see something about to happen, you say no, and you may be saying it with a very forceful contact with God at the same time of mind. No, God, not that. It's an urgent, instant prayer. And perhaps that is exactly what you need at such times to avoid the impending problem, accident, whatever. So the cultivation of good habits will be reflecting what your values are, and your values are, of course, you have a will, a desire to be ever conscious of God. That is your salvation, your awareness of God. Because your awareness of God is very much linking your mind to His mind. And His mind is good even if you're astray at the minute. So if you're cut off from God, your mind's astray and you're at risk. But if you're ever aware of God, conscious of God, then your mind is linked to His mind more fully. and your thinking is transformed accordingly, and therefore your experience and living. So, we're saying quite simply that we are our values, and our values are reflected in our habits. So if your values are to be mindful ever of God and the importance of God coming to the rescue and directing our thoughts, whenever your thoughts are troublesome, you will automatically be in the habit of thinking of God as the rescuer. So you start to change the dream. And that includes reality, the dream that you keep returning to at present. So Brother Andrew practices the presence of God. His mind goes back to God all the time, in emergencies, in good times, in bad times, in neutral times. And he finds this habit transforms his life into the loveliness of God. Thank you, Dad. Thank you, Dad.